The purpose of this research presentation is to present a specific, research-based, and accessible intervention to reduce feelings of loneliness. Loneliness is a growing problem in the United States. 1 in 5 people reported feeling lonely or socially isolated, and 46% of people reported always feeling alone. According to research by Dr. Capocho, loneliness changes the brain and how we see the world. The issue with these changes to the brain is that they may work against people when they're trying to make new social connections. When someone is lonely, the brain goes into defense mode and is more likely to interpret neutral social stimuli as negative social stimuli in order to protect itself from disingenuine connection. This means that just getting lonely people together would not be effective. Getting lonely people together would create a negative feedback loop where their negative thoughts are then reinforced by their negative perceptions, which then could lead to somebody isolating themselves further. Current interventions for loneliness can be split into 4 primary types of interventions: those that increase opportunities for social contact, those that enhance social support, those that focus on social skills, and those that address maladaptive social cognition. The most effective treatments were those that address those maladaptive social cognitions. Here is an example of an intervention proposed by Dr. Capocho that incorporates multiple intervention modalities with a focus on those negative social cognitions. According to the research, gratitude might have the opposite effect of loneliness. It's even been shown to be called the social glue, bringing people together, and even creating a relationship building cycle between people. The intervention I propose involves a one-off, open, 2-hour group where the client will have the opportunity to make connections, challenge their negative thoughts associated with making new connections, learn about how loneliness affects the brain, learn helpful interventions, and join a community related to the client's interests. The 3 parts of this group involved a psychoeducation of how loneliness changes social perceptions, a 2-hour experimental learning and process group, and giving client resources to join the community surrounding the activity that they were doing in the first half of the group. Participants for this research study would have been 20 to 25-year-old males with an interest in video games. Participants would have been recruited through their therapist. Ideally, there would have been 5 participants in the experimental group and 5 in the control. The UCLA loneliness scale would be taken before as a baseline and then 2 weeks after the group. Participants would have been sent specific resources they would be required to review on how loneliness impacts the brain and social stimuli to pay attention to for the first hour of the group. Participants would be encouraged to go over these materials with their individual therapist. The first hour of the group will involve participants meeting to play video games together, practice their social skills, while also noting how they are perceiving other participants' social stimuli relating to them. The second hour of the group will be a process group, which will give people the opportunity to confront what they perceived in the first half head-on in a confidential space. For example, someone could ask somebody directly why they looked away, and they may say they may have just gotten distracted, or they may say the person made them feel uncomfortable, which is feedback which then can be processed in the group. The group will also review the effects of loneliness on the brain and discuss how to start gratitude journaling. Part 3 of the intervention would be giving clients resources in order to join the video game community in Chicago. This will give participants the opportunity to continue to challenge those maladaptive social thoughts in real time while also building on the feedback they got from the process group. For expected results, I expected to see a slight to moderate reduction in feelings of loneliness on the UCLA loneliness scale, particularly on measures 9, 12, 18, and 19, which the intervention addresses. Further research is needed to determine whether this is an intervention that works across populations and if the effects are due to the actual intervention and not just maturation and the relationship that the client already has with their therapist.